What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up 0.81%, 23.73 the low, 24.49 the high. So you're seeing a lot of volatility today. 5.4 million shares being traded, 11.2 is the average. So fairly good volume. Most of that probably is piggybacking off of Friday's good momentum that was starting to build. Today you're seeing a lot of volatility because of people talking about shutdowns, and potentially if that does come as early as October the 1st, you could see kind of a pause on also data coming out. So maybe not the end of the world, possibly, but nonetheless, Lucid right now is looking pretty a-okay, despite there being no official news. So no SEC filings, no press releases or anything like that. Just a lot of people and big accounts, in fact, on Twitter or X now, I guess what they call it, about how Lucid is a squeeze play. So I'll go over that in a second. At the same time, a lot of articles are also coming out really looking forward. So I know a lot of my videos and a lot of people just generally focus on what is happening right now, what's going to be coming in the next couple of weeks. But if you kind of think longer term, that is where you see a lot of good potential growth. So Lucid Group sales could jump 211% with Gravity SUV Wall Street. So ultimately, how they're getting that 211% is just compounding 2025 and also 2026 forecasts. So going over here, year over year, right now 60.68% year over year growth. That is for revenue, currently 1.3 billion, low end of 1.13, high end of 1.5. So smack dab in the middle for the 1.3. So that's the consensus, and that's based on 11 analysts, mind you. And then for 2026, 2.5 billion, and that is 1.6 the low, 3.1 is the high, and that does represent a 92.62% year over year growth. So ultimately, a lot of articles are starting to look forward what is coming, and you can even see all the way up to 2034. Mind you, there's only one analyst giving a estimate based on that, but there is a estimated amount of $36.7 billion in revenue for 2034. So I don't really know exactly how they are getting that, but if that even is remotely accurate, then Lucid should really be a significant value play right now. So again, it all depends on your time horizon. If you're just wanting swing trades and whatever else, or if you're a long-term investor, there is a lot of good growth, right? So you're seeing solid double-digit growth, and you never know if they announce new partnerships or ESS, a new kind of revenue source. All of this will just be multiplied. So at the end of the day, it all depends on your time horizon, like I said, but a lot of articles are starting to come out saying like long-term growth and so forth. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. At the same time, like I said, a lot of big accounts are saying that Lucid is a squeeze play. At the time of doing this video, of the 5 million shares that is being traded, 1.2 is associated to shorts. So right now they're increasing 1.21 million shares. 32.73% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 41.03 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average, a little bit lower today, so 34.06%. That's an annual rate, not a daily rate. And then DTC is 3.14 days. So that does factor in the average volume that Lucid does get in comparison to number of shares being shorted. So it does signal that shorts are very, very overextended with Lucid. And that's been honestly the case for the greater part of 2025 and even most of 2024. So pretty exciting things. Again, that's if you're wanting a squeeze play. No matter what, on a side note, as I've explained in the past, I think in order for a squeeze to actually occur, you need a surprise catalyst. And Lucid could have a lot of those in their back pocket, such as, let's say, a partnership. And we all saw what exactly happened with Lucid when they announced that Uber deal, right? Things just shot up like crazy. So it's not far-fetched on assuming a squeeze could be coming, but looking at the options, 1.45 million in calls, 342,000 in puts, 58% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 2650 and above for this week. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub kind of 2250 to 23. So a little bit more upside is anticipated. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market. So you see some selling, some buys right here, so somewhat evenly divided. As I've brought up in the past, there has been, when it was starting to really move higher, it did convert that super trend indicator to bullish. So overall, you just have algorithmic trading really working on your side. So even though on the secondary market, you're not seeing that level of buying, you're still seeing algos push Lucid higher. So again, kind of a positive thing if you think about it. Aside from that, these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So with shorts being fairly active, I'm sure most of this is linked to them. But aside from that though, with it right now at 24.14, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 23.07 is going to be that strong support. 24.52 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And it kind of did bounce off of that general area. So 24.49 was the high. So just watch for this to be that next strong target / resistance. Aside from all that fun stuff though, on the actual chart, it still is above the 50-day moving average. So historically, that's a pretty big deal for Lucid. And today, you pretty much are just eyeing that 200-day moving average, and that's sitting at 24.68. So over the next couple of trading days, just watch for that. And comparing today versus, for instance, Friday's activity from the market position, you don't see any strong walls of selling. So essentially, once Lucid just gets that nice gentle push higher, it could really go up a significant amount. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below and where you realistically see things going. Today, if it does hold these gains, would mark the 4th consecutive green day. So potentially retesting this record that they did have at the beginning of September when they had 5 consecutive green days. So that was pretty epic, mind you. So when it comes down to it today, I think it's just algos are really helping to push Lucid higher. Aside from the one real article that I did bring up, nothing really coming out, in my opinion, of substance, of course, and there hasn't been any new analyst ratings. So at the end of the day, I think just big things will be coming for Lucid. It's just a matter of the market not being as bearish. I know that kind of sounds weird, and it's really unfortunate, the fact that like Lucid always has these nice breakouts or just good news on crappy market days. And generally the market's somewhat fearful for right now, but again, if things go according to plan and we do avoid a shutdown, then the market's just going to really move on higher. So let me know your general thoughts on Lucid. Have you been buying? Are you selling? What's your kind of viewpoint on all of that? And when it comes down to what I mentioned about analysts, do you think that, for instance, they are correct in assuming, let's say by even 2029, there's going to be $9.68 billion. So what's your thoughts? Even essentially from that forecasting, that would be 45.76% year-over-year growth. There's 3 analysts giving estimates for 2029. And I think even generally 2027 onwards, big things should be coming. And that's where most likely 28, 29, or possibly even 30, profitability could be right around the corner. It's just all depends on how well the midsize does, as well as the Gravity. So let me know your viewpoint. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. So worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. So I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to check it out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.